Man, what is good, YouTube? Over the recent years in the UFC, there's been a lot of comparisons thrown around, some of them being good, some of them being bad. But in today's video, I'm going to be ranking those comparisons A through F, or I'll just say trash or great. But just starting off right off the bat, I'm going to just get this one out there. It's freaking an F tier. Paddy Pimblett, Conor McGregor. This got thrown around pretty early. Paddy Pimblett, when he was coming to the UFC, he was coming from Cage Warriors. He had the personality. He had a weird look. He had an accent, he had some hype going in the UFC, but he didn't really have the fight style. And then when it just came to it, he hasn't been looking like a prospect. He hasn't been looking bad, but he hasn't been looking like a prospect that's going to make it to the top or title contention. But let's see. But moving on, I just wanted to get that one out of there. But for this next one, we got Mauricio Ruffy and Conor McGregor. I'm going to have this comparison as a B+. You obviously can't have like the same exact fighter, but what I've seen, he looks a lot like McGregor. Someone noticed it in the Contender Series fight, and then his debut fight in the UFC, I seen it. Within the first minute, I thought it looked like McGregor. He has the stance of McGregor. He even kind of has like the same like beard. Not like the same exact hair, but he has like a similar beard, like facial structure. It just makes it look a lot more like McGregor. He has the really good timing, the really good speed. He has a similar style on the punches. He's very athletic. He got the karate stance. He just be doing weird shit. Some of the stuff's not even the same as McGregor. He would just do some weird shit. Like, he would just come in with that scissor trip, and then he got the dude down. Even though it didn't really, like, get him top position. He just did it. Anyways, that one, I have it at B+. Moving on, we have Peyton Talbot and Sean O'Malley. There's been a lot of comparisons of them, but I'm going to rank this one at a C+. Like, I see people saying, like, there's a lot of comparisons, but I see a lot of people saying they're nothing alike. I don't know about that. Like, I was watching the Contender Series fight. When he came in that Contender Series fight, I definitely seen a lot of O'Malley. But they definitely have different fight styles. O'Malley, he'll sit back trying to counter, but at the same time, he'll throw a lot of volume on you too. Like Marlon Vera, he went in there, wasn't just countering the whole time. He'll pressure forward, but most of the time, he's really looking for a counter. He fights a little different each fight, but he's still looking more for a counter. And then there's Peyton Talbot. I feel like they do got similar like style on their strikes. I mean, they got a similar body type. They got the hair. They have different type of personalities, but they have a personality that just stands out, or just something about them that stands out. But anyways, Peyton Talbot, we talk about the striking. Peyton Talbot, he's usually coming forward. He's not just putting his chin out there, but he seems more real in the brawl. He just goes in there walking forward. He goes into the fire to find his shots. He's not really staying back and countering. He's walking forward. He's throwing volume. He's coming for. He's fine with getting hit. But basically what I'm saying is O'Malley, he kind of stays back. He looks for the counter to find the shot. Peyton Talbot, he puts himself in the fire and then finds the shot. But I do like this at C+. I mean, there's a comparison for a reason. There's a reason that a whole bunch of people brought it up. You can't tell me that you just don't look at Peyton Talbot and see him fight and then like don't see a little bit of O'Malley. But anyways, I really like this one. We got two England men. That's a big reason why this is a comparison too. It could be just because they're both black too. But we got Leon. Oh wait, Leon. We got Laurent. We got Laurent Murphy and Leon Edwards. No, I really like this comparison. I like this one. I'm going to have it at an A. The only reason I don't have it as an A+ is because their striking's a little bit different. They don't really have the same striking style. But I feel like there's a little bit more of the comparisons than just that. When I'm looking at this, they're both kind of decision fighters. They have power in their hands, though. They can't find a shot. They can't find a finish. But they're not going to go in there and force it. They're usually on the outside picking you apart. Both of them being out of England definitely helps the comparisons. But I'm looking at it more like they're both strikers with not much of a wrestling background, and then they both had a really good job of developing strong wrestling. And Murphy's like last few fights, you've seen him use the wrestling, and you see him actually using it pretty good. They're also both fighters that were kind of underlooked as prospects. People know they're good, but people ain't really looking at him as like a crazy like future title contender. Like I see people probably looking at Laurent Murphy a little bit that way now. There's probably a little bit of that for Leon Edwards, but not like a big amount of people that think that. They were both running up win streaks, not really getting too much recognition. It's because also at the same time, they would have some close fights. They'd be ahead of their opponent, but they would have fights that they keep it close. Not really pulling away from a large amount. Keeping it a pretty close fight, but they're definitely, like, you could tell that they're ahead of the fights. They're the better fighter. They're winning the fights. They have the striking ability to mix in the wrestling. I really like this comparison. Moving on. This next one is a different type of comparison. It's not really a style comparison. It was thrown around, not even too much. It was just thrown around a little bit. And if he would have won against Jalen Turner, this comparison could have been so much different. But I'm going to have it at a D. Bobby Green and Jorge Masvidal. I have this as a D. The comparison, again, is not fight style. This comparison is more like they were both journeymen. They had a lot of close fights, a lot of decisions. They versed some big name people. They could have won some fights that they didn't win. And then later in their career, where they start getting a little bit older, that's when they start winning their fights, getting more recognition. Like Jorge Masvidal, he became a star out of nowhere, getting crazy finishes, getting a title shot, having the beef with Kobe. He had 2 title shots against Usman. And then he had a pay-per-view with Colby Covington. And then we have Bobby Green. He was putting on some great fights, great performances. He's almost 40 years old, and then he just started hitting the rankings again. And where a lot of these comparisons actually came from was a main event against Grant Dawson. That's where it got thrown around a little bit. I think it was a little bit of commentators, but a little bit of it was online too. Getting some buzz. Is Bobby Green going to be the next Jorge? Because there's Grant Dawson, who I think was like 8-0-1. Like he had 8 wins, 0 losses, and a draw in the UFC. Getting hyped up. He's going to be a title challenger. Bobby Green in the main event goes out there and sleeps him in 30 seconds. And that's where it all started. Then he just needed to win his next fight and then maybe a big fight after that. But and then he went in there, had Jalen Turner. And that's where he got slept in the first round. Brutally KO'd. And that's where that all stopped. That's where the comparison stopped. Because if he was supposed to verse Dan Hooker. Let's say he goes in there, beats Dan Hooker. Then he has a big matchup against Gaethje or Poirier. Then somehow goes in there and wins that. This comparison could have been like an A. It could have been an A for the type of comparison it was. Just the journeyman type of fighter turning into a star and a title contender. But Jalen Turner, he went in there, slept Bobby Green pretty badly, late stoppage, and then that's where this comparison stops, so I'm going to have it at a D. This next comparison, I actually have it high up. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, and Colby Covington. I have this as an A tier. Wait. No, I'm going to take that back. I'm going to have it at a B+, only because I'm looking at this. They got the same fight style. They go in there. They're trying to wrestle. They're trying to get it to the ground. They're both durable fighters, but okay, actually, I might drop it to it. No, I'm going to have it at B+, because I really like this. I really think they're really a lot same fight style, but there is some differences. They're both willing to go in there and get a fun fight, but the reason I'm going to change this, Colby Covington, he's going to go to a decision. Fluffy, he's going out there getting finishes. He's getting submissions. He's getting out on the back, getting rear naked chokes. He's wearing people out just like Colby, but he's finding the finish. And also, Colby was having fights that he was having some boring fights coming up. Pretty sleeper fights. Hernandez, he's been having banger fights since the start. Not like when he started getting in title contention. Even though there's some differences, I'm still going to have it at a B+, because I'm looking at it. They both have the same exact fight style. They go in there. They have a crazy cardio. They'll take some shots. They'll start getting into takedowns. If you get up, they're going to take you down again. They're going to keep coming forward on the front foot the whole time. They have the crazy cardio. They'll wear you out. Super durable and put on a crazy high pace. And I'm going to just leave it at that. B+, moving on. For this next one, I'm going to have it at C+. It's not a bad comparison, but more and more watching the fights, it's not the same. We got Islam Makhachev and Khabib. I'm not going to butcher the name. I'm going to try to say it because I used to be able to say it. Yep, can't say it. But anyways, I know it. They're both cousins. They're both Dagestanians. They got the same type of wrestling style. Well, not... They both have that Dagestanian type of style, but they have different entries on their shots, different fight style. Islam Makhachev's like a crazy good striker. Khabib's not really good on striking, but he just goes in there. He moves his head. He doesn't get hit clean. And then he goes in there. He'll wear you out. Islam Makhachev, he definitely has the ability to get singles and doubles. He shot him on Poirier, but that's not really what he gets mainly on the takedowns. He'll go in there trying to look for a judo throw. He's looking for trips, body locks. That's more of his type of style. Khabib, he's going in there getting low singles, doubles, singles, high crotches. And it seems like Islam, he'll fill you out on the feet. He has really good striking defense. He will be on the outside, and then he will get the takedown when it's there. Khabib, he goes in there and he forces it. He'll run forward, moving his head. He might get hit by a couple shots, but he doesn't really get hit too clean. He'll shoot a takedown. If he doesn't get it, he's shooting. He's straight into another takedown, going in there, having the pressure. Constant strikes when he's on top, too, or like just trying to get you down. He throws strikes, and he does it a lot. He's not going in there just laying on people like some people think. He just goes in there, throwing shots. Islam Makhachev, when he goes in there, he's like instantly looking for a submission. It seems like Khabib, he tries to wear you out with strikes, and then he tries to find the submission when you're done. Islam Makhachev, he'll go in there trying to get his submission off the bat. I get it. There's definitely similarities, but I'm going to have it at a C+. All right, for this next one, this one isn't like recent history because one's retired, but we got Israel Adesanya and Anderson Silva. Khabib's retired too, but that's a little different. But anyways, Israel Adesanya, Anderson Silva. I'm going to have this at a A. I was just explaining it. I was kind of mumbling, so I had to cut it out. But I'm going to change this to a B+, because after trying to explain it, I think differently. They're both definitely patient fighters, and they'll go out there, and they're willing to have, like, somewhat of a boring fight if they're just going to go in there and pick you apart. But what I'm saying is Silva doesn't really go out there and pick you apart, though. He seems like he'll wait, and he tries to find the right moment to land that strike. And even in the Chael Sonnen fight, he's just waiting for the right moment to find that triangle, and then he ended up getting it at the end. He goes in there trying to find the right shot, the right counter. He'll go in there, kind of throw around. And then we got Izzy. Even though he's pretty similar, it seems like he doesn't really try to go throw around. He wants to win every single one. He'll go in there, run on the outside, pick your legs, and if you come in, that's where he tries to find the shot, but he's not going to go in there and force it. He's fine with just picking you on the outside. That's where they're both similar, but Izzy doesn't really go in there waiting for the right shot. He'll be fine with just picking you on the outside, while Silva, it seems more like if you're not giving him what he wants, he's more willing to go in there and try to find a shot himself. And also Silva, he's more likely to use his hands. While Izzy, even though his KOs are usually with a counter strike with his hands, he's going out there kicking you on the outside and using his kicks. And then if you come in, that's where he sets you up with the hands. So I have that at a B+. Moving on. This next one, I'm having a B+. We got Khamzat Chimaev taking on. Wait, not Khamzat taking on, bro. What? We got Khamzat Chimaev and Jailton Almeida. I have this comparison at a B+. Because they got the same thing. They'll go in there. They're trying to shoot off the bat. They got a little different setups. Khamzat would just go in there and shoot a double leg trying to get you down. Jailton Almeida, he'll go in there, front kick, get you down. The only little bit of difference is Khamzat seems a little bit more to go get a finish. Almeida, even though he's kind of looked at a person not to go get a finish, he literally has 2 decisions on his record out of 25 fights. That's a loss and a win. But it's pretty much just the same game plan. They go in there, they're trying to take you down. They're trying to look for the finish. The ground and pound submissions. But the only difference is, when I'm looking at it, Khamzat seems like, I think they might actually be like similar level striking. I feel like Almeida's not even bad on the feet, but we haven't really seen it. So I have nothing to prove that. But then we got Khamzat. He'll go in there and he'll strike on the feet. He's willing. Almeida, he's going to go in there and shoot a takedown. Even if he's going to lay on his back for a second and try to get it on top, he's going to go to the ground. No matter what, he's not striking at all. Khamzat will go in there and brawl, and he has a lot more heart, and he has a lot more just dog in him than Jailton Almeida. Khamzat will go in there and he have a brawl against Gilbert Burns. He'll go in there, have a tough fight against Usman on the feet, and then we got Jailton Almeida. Takedown. If it doesn't work, takedown again. Doesn't work, takedown. Get knocked out. Takedown. John Jones PD. That's like an A+. And then we got RDA in St. Denis. I made this one up myself. I don't even know if I've seen any of these, but they're both lightweights. They both like to use their kicks. They'll go in there and brawl too, but they're mainly wrestlers on the ground. They're trying to go in there, get the takedown. They have submission skills. I really like this. Benoit St. Denis and RDA. I really like this comparison. I'm surprised I haven't seen it more. Like, I thought of it when I was coming up with this video. I was like, I really like this as a comparison. I'm making it up myself. I like it so much, I'm going to have it at an A. I'm going to have it at an A. They go in there. Similar fight style. St. Denis, he's more composed and he walks forward. RDA is more bouncing around, but I still really like it. They have a similar style. They go in there trying to mix in the takedowns. They're willing to brawl too. They have really good kicks, and they like to use their kicks. And yeah, man, they got hands too. Even if it's not crazy good hands, they got enough power. I like it. That's it for the video. I'm out.